A car is shown in the Amazon forest with two people inside. Anna, the girl, looks through her map and says they need a boat since the car can't go any further, but the man with her warns her to be careful. He has a gun, and they seem to be hiding from some people. Anna eventually finds the courage to leave the car, leaving the man behind and heading for a bike. Just then, two men find her and immediately begin chasing her while she rides away quickly. The scene shifts to the present moment where a man named Doug pitches his idea for a wedding video he plans to shoot for a couple. The couple bring Doug back to his senses when he gets carried away by adding monsters and horror themes to the wedding concept. They urge him to stick to a normal wedding video, which he isn't very thrilled about since deep down, he feels like he can do more. Later, we see another man, Griff, as he prepares for his role in a movie shoot. He goes on and on about which accent and expression to use in the movie, and after a few pep talks, he heads in for filming. The shoot goes terribly wrong, as the director is forced to do multiple takes because of Griff's constant mistakes. In the end, the director gets fed up and sends Griff, who, by the way, plays the role of an NPC nurse, out of the building. As he walks away, he comes across a poster of Anaconda, and an idea strikes him. Back to Doug, he is approached by his boss, Jerry. Jerry mentions the report he heard about Doug pitching a monster and sewer idea to a couple earlier and cautions him. He calmly tells Doug that he should let go of this old fantasy and focus on his current job, reminding him that he has great shooting talent and will soon take over the business someday. Later that evening, Doug returns home to a birthday surprise and is surrounded by friends and gifts. He also meets his very old friend Griff, whose visit is a huge surprise since they haven't seen each other in ages. Eventually, Griff brings out an old TV and cassette tape showing a video the friends shot when they were kids. They all watch with a strong feeling of joy and nostalgia, especially Doug. The next day, the friends go to a cafe where they reminisce about their childhood and favorite movies. In the group are two more friends, Claire and Kenny. Finally, Griff takes the stage and announces that he has acquired the rights to Anaconda. When Doug asks what he means, Griff explains that he and his manager met a Japanese widow whose husband had written about Anaconda. Since the man passed away, the widow gave the rights to Griff. He ends his speech by saying that he wants to reboot Anaconda. Claire and Griff will act, Kenny will handle the cinematography, and Doug will direct. Kenny immediately jumps on the idea. Claire is hesitant, mentioning her recent divorce and saying she needs time, but Griff urges her on, adding that shooting Anaconda would help take her mind off the divorce. After some thought, she agrees. Now only Doug is left, and he hesitates. He thinks about his responsibilities, his family, and the talk he had with Jerry. With all these reasons in mind, he decides not to join the group on their adventure. Griff tries to persuade him, but Doug replies that Anaconda is nothing but a childhood fantasy and that he now has grown-up responsibilities. At home, Doug finds his son, Charlie, binge-watching videos from the birthday night, and he sits down to watch with him. His wife, Malie, talks with him and encourages him to shoot Anaconda with his friends. She mentions how happy he was re-watching the old videos and reminds him that he has a deeper passion for filmmaking than for making ordinary wedding videos. Doug pushes the idea away and grounds himself in reality. It's not that he doesn't want to shoot the movie. It's that he is afraid of the unknown, of realizing his dream and ending up with false hope. Later, while editing the wedding video for the couple, Doug has a realization. He doesn't want this ordinary job, especially now that he has the opportunity to do something wonderful. Doug leaves and heads over to Griff's house, where he makes his final decision. He is ready to reboot Anaconda. At once, Griff and the team start making plans. They take out bank loans and discuss what they need: a boat, an Amazon forest guide, a rented giant snake, and a VFX team. Doug writes the script for Anaconda, and when he is done, his friends read it and love it. Kenny pleads with Doug to let him shoot the film, promising not to mess up like before, and Doug agrees. Afterwards, the crew pack their things and prepare to leave. They eventually arrive in Brazil, and Doug talks about the Anaconda, how it waits in the water for weeks, stalking its prey, and when the time is right, it strikes without mercy and crushes its victim with pure force. Just then, another man joins in to confirm that anacondas are built that way, recalling a story of a woman caught in an anaconda's grip. The pressure was so high that her eyes popped out. They ask who he is, and he introduces himself as Santiago. Kenny recognizes him as their snake handler and introduces him to the rest of the team. Meanwhile, Anna arrives at the same location and hides her face as the men from earlier search for her. Back with Doug and his friends, Santiago talks about his snake and how he rescued and nursed it back to health after gold miners destroyed its home. He then introduces them to the snake, and they are shocked by its size. Santiago also mentions that there are other anacondas said to be 6 or 7 times bigger than this one. When Kenny asks if it's true that anacondas regurgitate their victims, Santiago confirms that it sometimes happens. If the victim is lucky, they're already dead. Otherwise, they relive the horror of being swallowed again. Anna spots the crew loading the boat and steals a key. She approaches them and claims that her father, the boat's owner, called in sick and that the boat will be out of service for the day. Doug pleads with her, explaining that they are shooting a movie they've dreamed of making since childhood. Anna reluctantly agrees and quickly heads to the steering room. She turns on the engine and sails away just in time, avoiding the men searching for her. Meanwhile, one of the men asks the dock manager for records of every boat that left that day. Later that evening, Doug and his friends make a toast and pray to the movie gods for a successful shoot. The next day, filming begins. Claire plays Bella, a woman seeking revenge on an anaconda that ate her family and destroyed her village, while Griff plays the unhinged snake tracker and strong male figure in Bella's life. During filming, Griff and Claire reignite old chemistry, and it is revealed that they dated when they were younger. That evening, Doug mentions the chemistry he noticed between them, but Griff insists he was simply following the script. He also expresses his excitement, saying this film is better than any other movie he has acted in. Later that night, the team discusses adding a new element to the movie, and Griff pitches the idea of a double headbutt, which everyone enthusiastically agrees to. As they sleep, Santiago's snake slithers out of its cage and makes its way to Griff's room. Just as Griff prepares to meet his fate, the snake attacks a bird that has flown in instead. A meeting is called, and Santiago reassures everyone that everything is under control. The next morning, filming continues. This time, Griff's character is supposed to sacrifice himself for Bella. The snake makes Griff uncomfortable, and he tries to persuade Doug to change the scene. However, Doug insists it's important for the plot and assures him it is safe with Santiago's supervising. Summoning some courage, Griff returns to the set. When instructed to place the snake on his face for the final shot, he panics and throws it into the water, where the boat's propellers shred it. Santiago screams in agony at the loss of his beloved snake, while the others watch in shock. That night, Santiago holds a funeral for the snake, setting it on fire and singing in mourning. In the distance, one of the men watches through binoculars and reports back to his partner. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound. When he looks around, he finds nothing. Dismissing it, he raises his binoculars again. Back on the boat, Griff approaches the grieving Santiago and offers his condolences. Afterwards, they share a beer. Griff talks about the movies he has acted in and how he was once kicked out during the 9th episode of a show. Santiago listens patiently and, in his drunken state, confesses that he likes Griff and thinks he's a cool guy. He promises to find a new snake for the movie, but says Griff must accompany him. Trying to make up for his mistake, Griff agrees, and they head into the swampy terrain in the middle of the night. Griff becomes terrified by the silent night, surrounded by vines and still water. Santiago explains that snakes can feel vibrations and senses that they are close. The duo eventually gets separated, unaware that a snake is behind them. When Griff turns to look for Santiago, he doesn't see him, and ruled by fear, he runs back to the boat. Meanwhile, Santiago yells at the snake to show itself, and suddenly he is wrapped up and pulled underwater. Griff returns to Doug and tells him he can't find Santiago, mentioning that they had gone to look for new snakes for their movie. Doug tells Griff not to worry, saying that Santiago is a professional. After a few hours pass, the group grows concerned and decides to search for him, with Anna tagging along. Meanwhile, one of the men searching for Anna reaches the boat, but finds no one. He radios his crew, telling them to head into the jungle and search for her. In the meantime, Doug and the others come across a camping van in the middle of the jungle and decide to check inside, hoping to find snacks or something useful. As they talk, they hear a strange noise. When they look through the window, they see a regurgitated Santiago thrown toward them. Then a giant, nearly 12-foot-long snake appears. The group is too shocked to speak. When they try to start the vehicle, it doesn't work. Doug sends Kenny to check what's wrong, but Kenny admits he's too high to focus. Doug takes the initiative and goes to the hood of the van. He fixes the battery, and just as he sighs in relief, he sees the giant anaconda in his peripheral vision. It lunges at him but misses. He runs back into the van as Griff drives off. The other men spot the moving van and begin chasing them. Kenny and the others initially think the men are there to help, but Anna warns them not to stop, explaining that the men are illegal gold miners who will kill anyone who gets in their way. A shootout begins and Anna grabs a gun and fires back. Doug signals Kenny to start recording the event on his phone for the movie. Anna eventually eliminates the men. When they reach the boat, one remaining man points a gun at the four friends and demands to know where Anna is. Anna sneaks up behind him and knocks him unconscious, and the crew boards the boat. Doug decides to wrap up the movie, especially after the dangerous events they've just experienced, but Griff talks him out of it. He says they've come too far to quit and can't give up on their childhood dreams. Doug responds that it's too risky. They came out to make Anaconda, but now they're living it. That night, Doug makes adjustments to the script and adds Anna as a character. The next day, he introduces his new idea. The movie will not only be about the Anaconda, but will also include a subplot about a girl fighting illegal gold miners. The team loves the idea and resumes filming. However, something feels off. Anna is taking most of the screen time, and Griff and Claire complain that the story is drifting away from its original direction, where Claire's character falls for Griff's character. Doug brushes off their concerns and continues shooting. The next day, Doug calls Griff for another scene, but Griff refuses. They argue about how the movie was supposed to be about them, but now it's going in a different direction. Just then, another film crew passes by. When Doug makes inquiries, he discovers that Sony is shooting a reboot of Anaconda. Doug, Kenny, and Claire realize that Griff lied about having the rights. Doug is furious, saying they risked their lives for a lie. They get into a heated argument, and Griff admits he lied because Doug has always been afraid to take a leap of faith. Doug has had enough and fires Griff. Griff prepares to leave, but Claire runs after him, pleading with him to stay. However, he has made up his mind and says he'll find the Sony crew and ask them for a ride home. Griff later comes across a broken, half-sunken boat, the same one from earlier. He calls out to people he knows, but gets no response. Suddenly, a girl runs out of the jungle and waves at him. As Griff rides over to help her, she is suddenly eaten by the giant snake. Terrified, Griff quickly reverses his boat and heads back toward Doug and the others. Meanwhile, Doug wants to continue filming without Griff. During an argument among the friends, Anna suddenly pulls out a gun and points it at them. She forces them to walk into the jungle and toward the docks. There, she makes them carry heavy sacks. Upon inspection, Doug realizes they are filled with gold. He understands that Anna is the illegal miner. Just then, the man who has been chasing Anna since the beginning corners her. He explains that he works for the U.S. government and is there to arrest her. While they argue, Griff suddenly shoots the man with a gun he found on the boat, believing him to be the villain. When he learns that Anna is actually the criminal, he feels guilty. Anna retrieves her gun and forces the group to face the river. Claire manages to get close enough to Anna and headbutts her, knocking the gun from her hand. Anna tries to make a threat, but the snake attacks her, dragging her into the river as the others escape. The group runs the wrong way and eventually stops to catch their breath. Doug discovers a huge spider on his leg. Panicking, he says his legs feel paralyzed, and Kenny suggests urinating on the wound. Griff confirms that the method supposedly works for animal bites, but I personally wouldn't recommend it unless you're stranded in the Amazon. Doug asks them to do it, but Griff and Claire say they completely empty. Kenny admits he's been pee-shy for 30 years, but after encouragement from the group, he tries. He also confesses he can only urinate while sitting down, so they awkwardly position themselves. After a few minutes, he succeeds, and everyone celebrates, with Kenny letting out a triumphant battle cry. The crew continues deeper into the jungle, and Doug apologizes to Griff, admitting he has always been jealous of him for moving to LA and chasing his dreams. Suddenly, the Anaconda attacks Doug and drags him away. Griff wants to go after him, but Claire says it's too dangerous. Griff feels guilty, saying he tricked Doug into coming here. Kenny interrupts, saying he's found a possible escape route, an open field, but they'll need a distraction to keep the snake occupied. They soon find Doug, who appears dead. After checking his pulse and believing he is gone, Kenny suggests using him as bait. They tie a boar to Doug to make it harder for the snake to swallow him while they escape. After walking a short distance, Griff looks back and realizes Doug is still alive. He shouts at him to run, and Doug takes off just as the snake returns. The snake ends up eating the boar instead. Once safe, Griff apologizes, saying all he ever wanted was to make movies with his best friends like they did as kids. After reconciling, they continue on their journey to find a boat. At night, they come across the destroyed Anaconda movie set. They find a radio and call for help. Suddenly, Ice Cube appears and shoots at the Anaconda, forcing it to retreat. He takes them to safety. After catching their breath, Doug decides it's time to kill the snake. He asks Ice Cube about their plan, but Ice Cube admits they only had the first 3 acts of the script and usually improvise the rest. He mentions a nearby pyro field, but doesn't know how to operate it. After some discussion, Ice Cube leaves to find his crew and wishes them luck. Doug creates a plan. Claire will turn on the generator. Doug will use a golf cart to lure the snake into the pyro field. Kenny will film everything, and Griff will trigger the explosion. They execute the plan. The snake appears and chases Doug and Griff as they race for their lives. The snake destroys one of the signals, cutting contact with Kenny and Claire. They rush to fix it. Just as Doug drives into the pyro field, Kenny restores the signal, and Griff detonates the explosives. The explosion engulfs the snake, or so they think. The snake emerges from the flames and corners the group. Just as all hope seems lost, Griff pulls out a pistol given to him by Ice Cube and fires one final shot, launching the snake into the air. Doug finishes it off, completely sealing their victory. Weeks later, they release Anaconda, finally fulfilling their childhood dream. Thanks for watching. Never stop dreaming, and never be too scared to fulfill those dreams too. Subscribe for more movie recaps like this, and I'll see you in the next one.